Aren't you supposed to be investigating those cases of yours instead of bothering me?
Good day to you too, Inspector. I have a small favour to ask of you, a search warrant to investigate the murder at the club.
No, no, and no.
Since I'm without the warrant, I should find something else to do. By the way, do you know if Sir Robin is currently in town?
I have no idea. And why on earth should you even think that I might know that?
Well, I believe I may have solved a case about, let's say, a salacious inspector.
No, it's not what you think. Nothing dishonourable happened. Go on then, take your warrant.
So he refused to give you the search warrant?
Oh no, I've got it. I won't need you for a while now, Watson. I'll see you later.
Where is this?
Sir Charles, I have a search warrant. I would like to take a look inside the clubhouse.
I see. Here's the key, but I do protest. I heard that Zacharias was killed by the statue's spear.
Oh, it's horrible. Do you think the club will be closed?
I wonder who this man is. Zacharias Greystoke. It's Sir Charles Yellingham. I wonder who this man... Guatemala, 1881. I don't think this is a bowls tournament. photograph appears to have been faked or damaged. I'll take it. The 50th birthday of Lord Stevenson. Ah, Sir Charles was once a captain in the Guard. Charles Yellingham has a large family. Interesting. It appears that the club is unable to pay its debts to the bank. A message to Sir Charles from Zacharias Greystoke, the victim. The late Mr. Bromsby's collection. The late Mr. Bromsby's collection. The late Mr. Blinkhorn's collection. The late Mr. Smith's collection. The late Mr. Sutherland's collection. The late Mr. Roberts' collection. This metal globe is very impressive. Some bits are missing. Some bits are missing. It appears that it's a part of a gold statue from Guatemala. Solid gold. It's worth a fortune. These antiques look quite valuable. These trunks have just arrived. They're from Zacharias Greystoke's antique collection. The late Mr. These I wonder who this man is. It appears that part has been painted over. I need to find out what's underneath. Let's gently remove the paint with a soft cloth. Aha, there's another person in the photograph.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Look here. There's a person with a swollen eye who was concealed within this photograph. A dispute of some kind, you think, Watson?
Possibly. But it appears to me a characteristic symptom of a rare tropical disease that is found in South and Central America.
South America! Brilliant, Watson!
Happy to help.
Is it deadly?
Well, there is a chance he survived.
I shall ask Sir Charles, but who knows what he'll say.
I have an idea. There is only one hospital for such illness. The Hospital for Tropical Diseases. I have friends who work there.
Oh, yes?
Well, the chances are slim, but I'll pay them a visit. If he's in London, they would have seen him.
Here it is. A map of London and its surroundings. Sir Charles, you informed me that you didn't know why Mr. Greystoke was here at such a time.
That's correct. I have no idea. What's this supposed to mean?
Never mind. I found this photograph on your wall. You're in it, but do you know who these men are? Particularly the gentleman with the swollen eye.
Oh, him. But that's poor Mr. Albiot. He died from fever during an expedition to Guatemala 14 years ago. We were searching a Mayan Quiche temple, but everything went wrong. We were unable to enter the temple and the expedition ended in disaster. I'm here, and here is Zacharias. And there is Bernard Marley, another member. He's over there, near the pedestal. By the way, he's the fellow who built that terrible statue. He created it, must have been 10 years ago. Mr. Marley is over there, near the statue's pedestal.
I heard that Zacharias was killed by the statue's spear. Why won't you please sing?
Some bits are missing. Some bits are missing. These antique. This piece has been cleanly and intentionally cut. Interesting. The men who own these collections are all dead.
Sir Charles, I believe that it's time to pass on the leadership of your club to someone else.
I don't understand.
You were charged with the murder of Zacharias Greystoke. You murdered him for money and to further your career.
What? This is an outrage. I have powerful connections. You will regret this.
Father, Mr. Orson Wilde is here, and I'm going to stay with Miss Alice.
What?
Did you forget? Orson Wilde, you know, the star of American theatre. And he's visiting and staying with us. You did forget?
No, not that. I meant you wanting to stay with Miss Alice.
Yes, that's right. Miss Alice suggested it. She told me you couldn't possibly refuse.
Why don't you stay with Mrs. Hudson?
Oh, but Miss Caitlin has more in common with Miss Alice, and they get along so well.
Guess what, Mrs. Hudson? Mr. Wilde is here to study my father's character for his next play. And he won't be disappointed, will he? Father is so pig-headed.
I can't believe it! The great Sherlock Holmes standing in front of me! I'm sure that our two brains will...
Brains.
Mr. Wilde, your room.
Charming. This is such a fascinating city.
We need to talk.
I'd rather not. You're going to be angry again. Goodbye, Mr. Wilde.
Is it 5 o'clock already? I think I might go and ask Mrs. Hudson for some tea.
My analysis table. It's useful for my work. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. Wilde truly has a perfect disguise kit. Do actors really need all this? This must be grease paint. This must be grease paint. This... Face powder of an excellent quality. I use the same brushes for makeup.
I forgot my hat. Father?
I'm just checking,
You've got something on your face. Is it makeup?
It might be. Practicing my disguises, you know me. No, don't touch that!
No, no!
Ah, Mrs. Hudson, with our tea.
Not quite. We have a visitor. However, the lady is not so much angry as perplexed.
Good day to you, gentlemen. My name is Mary Sutherland. I have come to you, Mr. Holmes, because I would give everything I have to know what has become of Mr. Hosmer Angel.
Why the haste, Miss Sutherland?
Mr. Hosmer Angel has disappeared, and my father, Mr. Winterbank, will do nothing. It makes me so angry.
Mr. Windybank is your stepfather, surely, since the name is different?
Well, indeed, I call him father, although he is barely older than myself.
And your mother is alive?
Oh, yes. Although I wasn't best pleased when she married again, and so soon after father's death, and to a man so much younger than herself.
Do you have your own income?
I do, from an inheritance. It was left to me by my Uncle Ned in Auckland.
Then you have all that you could wish for, naturally.
Well, I live at home and don't wish to be a burden to my family, so they have the use of the money.
What is your connection with Mr. Hosmer Angel?
I met him at the gasfitters' ball. Mr. Winterbank did not wish for me and Mother to attend. He never did wish us to go anywhere, but this time I was quite set on it. Fortunately, he left for France upon some business, and so didn't have any say in it. And I met Mr. Angel that night. We met again after that and would take walks together. But then Father returned, and we could no longer meet.
Why was your stepfather against your going anywhere?
Well, he didn't like anything of that sort. He used to say that a woman should be happy in her own family circle.
Did Mr. Hosmer Angel make no attempt to see you?
Well, Father was going off again in a week. And Hosmer wrote and said that it would be better for us not to see each other until Father had gone. After that, he stopped writing.
Where does Mr. Angel live?
I don't know exactly. I address all of his letters to the Leadenhall Street Post Office for collection.
Were you engaged?
Oh yes, Mr. Holmes. Right after the first walk that we took.
Is there anything else that you can tell me about Mr. Angel?
He is a very shy man. He would rather walk with me in the evening, so as to be discreet. I put a missing persons notice in last Saturday's Chronicle. Here's a copy, and a letter from him.
Haha, a love letter. Yes, I see. As I anticipated, this validates my deductions perfectly.
What deductions, Mr.
Mr. Wilde. Holmes, tell her.
Mr. Holmes, what do you think about the letter on the table? Do you think it might help? Mr. Holmes, what do you think about the letter on the table?
Thanks to Wilde, my analysis table has been completely destroyed.
A love letter? Aren't you dying to read it, Holmes?
This is strange. The love letter is typewritten. Good quality paper, quite smooth. Fairly common ink, nothing special. We had a wonderful time together, didn't we, while your father was in France? Hosmer Angel decided not to leave his signature. I'm waiting for the moment when your stepfather leaves once more. Miss Sutherland only met with Hosmer Angel while the stepfather was absent. Let's study this letter more closely. There are some letters with typographical defects. Miss Sutherland, do you have any other letters from Mr. Angel?
Unfortunately not. But I've brought my father's letter from Paris. Here it is.
The stepfather's letter is also typewritten. Quite common paper with a light yellow tint. Fairly common ink, nothing special. I hope that you'll be an obedient girl. Take my advice, stay at home. Miss Sutherland's stepfather's signature. The stepfather is trying to keep the daughter at home. Let's study this letter more closely. Both letters. One more letter with a defect.
What else can I tell you?
I think this case is fairly obvious, don't you, Mr. Holmes?
You should try to let Mr. Hosmer Angel vanish from your memory, as he has done from your life.
Then you don't think I'll see him again?
I fear not.
Then what has happened to him?
It is the nature of cowards. Mr. Angel wished to sever the relationship, but he was too afraid to provide you with an honest explanation.
Oh, Mr. Holmes. No, I can't believe it. But we were engaged. Oh, it's horrible to think about. But thank you for all you have done, Mr. Holmes.
Holmes, you could have been more diplomatic.
What is going on?
Mr. Holmes, is everything all right?
Oh my God. Go back to your flat and stay there with Kate. Calm down, Toby. Now, let's... It's ticking. It's ticking. I see wires inside. They could be connected to the cover. A fancy ticking homemade gift from a secret admirer. I have 2 minutes to defuse it. A fancy ticking homemade gift from a secret admirer. I have 2 minutes to... A source of electricity for the detonation. Aha! This solenoid protects the bomb from being easily diffused. If it loses its power supply, it will close contact between the secondary chain wires and the bomb will explode. A package with explosive material. There are wires going in and out. It's useless to predict how they might be tangled up inside. A source of electricity for the detonation. A package with There are wires attached to the bell and hammer when the alarm triggers. A fancy ticking. There are wires attached to the bell and hammer. When the alarm triggers, the bomb will explode. A fancy... A fancy...
What happened?
Just a small bomb.
Somebody wants to kill me? What for?
I don't believe that you were the target.
Who then?
Mr. Holmes, are you all right? I saw the bloke. I tried to catch him, but he escaped.
Can you describe the man?
He was thin, about 5'5", with black hair and a hair lip.
Wiggins, tell us everything you saw.
The fellow was watching your place, so I thought maybe he's a client. But then he took something out of his jacket and threw it, smashing your window. I shouted at him and he took off. I grabbed him by the sleeve, but he wriggled out of his jacket and left it. I'm sorry I didn't catch him, Mr. Holmes.
You did very well, Wiggins. Now, let's take a look at that jacket.
Here it is.
Good job, Wiggins. Here's a penny.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Holmes.
JT are the owner's initials. Let's see what's inside.
There could be a hidden message that's been written with some lemon juice.
No, don't touch anything else.
There are ink stains on this piece of paper. I could read the text with the help of my analysis table if Wilde hadn't already destroyed it.
A poem. But what does it mean?
This isn't a poem. It's a song called Rally Mohawks. That great moment when America rebelled against England's dominance. Then rally, boys, and hasten on to meet our chiefs at the Green Dragon. And I bet they hoisted a tankard of ale and invented a new nation. Along with deciding if this was the week they got to dump some tea into Yon Harbor.
Why ever did he keep such a song in his pocket?
I could read the text with the help. Jay. Good job, Toby. Thanks to Wilde, my analysis table has been completely destroyed. That's not the one I need. 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 Here it is. That's all I can do for now. Let's try and get a few hours of sleep.
How can you sleep when there is someone trying to kill me? How selfish.